Hello, welcome back to Sushi Leveling. For the 12th day of November, we have this ancient prompt. For ancients, we have actually there are many things you can create ancient for ancients, but I decided to make pyramid. So pyramid shouldn't be too hard, but I think I have a couple of ways to create this. The first one is simply by using cylinder, four-sided cylinder. We can of course make something like a brick, make it like a pyramid. And I'm using this brick texture, which I rotated, but I can't get it right with shader wise. Maybe I need to ask Erin. Maybe there's mask behind it. It's always like that. But anyhow, I goes to my second method. With my second method, I'm using SVerchok nodes again, and this is also kind of a little bit dodgy method, but I mean, I'm using the same thing, cylinder, four-sided, and I'm using adaptive polygon nodes, and SVerchok also have this bricks grid, which of course I can use to create this kind of brick pattern, and I simply just make adjustment and then extrude it. But this is, like I said, it's a little bit dodgy. I mean, it could work. I have another method. This one is probably slightly better, or yeah, I don't need to make all this remeshing. All right, this one is slightly more interesting, I think. I'm instancing a bunch of objects, which is just a cube. But the setup I have here, I started with a plane. Now let's see if I can draw this. So with this one, I think this is more correct if I didn't randomize it. Yeah, okay, we have this. So what I did, if I make it less brick, maybe just 10, this is actually what's going on. So for every layers of the pyramid, I am creating some kind of grid of box. I think this is a little bit better. I don't need to make the inside of the box there. I can get rid of the inside so I have less box. But overall, I think this is probably my favorite setup. So I start with a plane, a simple plane. Each plane, of course, is a grid. And the grid will grow smaller and smaller based on this number range. And then I stack the grid using line nodes. So I stack it. How many do you want? 5 or 10 or 20? It seems to grow exponentially. So if I pick 20, it starts to become slow. But I have a bit of control here. So I think this is why this is one of my favorite ways to do this. There's actually another setup that I think pyramid number 3, or let me check really quickly. So this is one method that I think is probably the best, and it has potential. 0, 2, 3. Pyramid number 2. This is when I'm actually using a hexagon. Okay, this is the result. So I'm using a hexagonal pattern, and with hexagon pattern, we could easily get a kind of like a stagger look. So instead of like a box that's on top of each other, you know, and side by side, we have more like a staggered positioning. And I think this is kind of nice. So what I did was using this polygon grid node to start with, and I pick up this triangle layout. So I actually have hexagon. It's actually this guy over here, and I simply rotate the triangle, and then I simply angle it and duplicate it 4 times, like a circular array, but only 4 sides to create a pyramid. And then what I did next was to use the origin of each of this hexagon and then place the brick. So this is not perfect, but also this one has a lot of potential. I can slightly maybe randomize it. If I go back, so this is pyramid number 2. If I go back to earlier version, okay, here I have Susan head. If I go back and turn on the original, so here I have triangles on, I believe this was hexagon at first. Before I make random. So this was how it was before. So this is what I mean by staggering the position of the hexagon. So if we actually deconstruct this matrix, here we have like a hexagon there. I'm trying to rotate the hexagon so it's a bit clearer. Yeah, the normal needs to be facing the correct way, but I think the whole pyramids thing is it's a little bit, it's just a matter of placing the bricks correctly until it shapes like pyramid structure. So that's really how it should be. This one is almost correct. But if you have like a Lego bricks and then try to build a pyramid brick by brick, and maybe you eventually figure it out, it's just you know, like there's some kind of pattern or grid structure that you can recreate, and then you stack the brick one by one like that. Since this is like it's supposed to be procedural and supposed to be automated, I'm sure the first one, the very first one that I use with a proper shader, this one will create a convincing pyramid. But this brick texture needs to be aligned properly, and also we need to use displacement vector or something. Maybe I'll ask ErinDale for this. Since we already have this brick texture, why don't we use it, right? This is in the under cycles. And we have SVerchok that generates pyramid. So any shape of pyramid is easy to create. Alright, so that's with pyramid. I think you will figure it out eventually. I think it's interesting to recreate procedurally. You can see the stone there. It's pretty much random. It's not all like not like a normal house. They brick it. They built this brick by brick and stack it. Oh, this one is actually kind of nice. A little bit tidier. So yeah, that's with ancient. What else can you create with ancient? I actually have another thing here, Stonehenge. This is my second idea. Maybe I will just upload it anyway. It looks like, currently it looks like a raw meat, raw fish meat, or you know, it could be like a salmon, you know, salmon meat. If I pick a different color, right? So this is Stonehenge, of course, and I created this using SVerchok, and the way I create it is simply by using a ring. So the ring node, and I simply extrude it to create this kind of setup. So SVerchok is actually pretty good with this kind of thing. With the first ring, I simply get the edge of the ring using UV connections and turning on separate, and then extruding up this area. For the top part, it's really just ring, but I use polygon boom and then transform it slightly. So I have control for the size simply by scaling, etc., just to create this kind of Stonehenge. And as for the shader, it's just a basic shader to create this kind of raw meat, just wave texture plug into the normal map. I mean, this can be better, but I think it's kind of nice. And what happened here from here to here is just simply bevel and subdivisions and displacement. Alright, so this is just another idea. Hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.